Hey everyone, it's Carolyn from All Day I Dream About Food. Many of you know me for my creative and over-the-top keto desserts. But did you know I'm also something of a master at easy keto dinner recipes? Well, I am, and today I'm going to show you how to make one of my family's favorites, Keto Instant Pot Pulled Pork. An Instant Pot like this one really is a useful piece of kitchen equipment. Not only does it speed up the cooking process, but it also means you don't have to turn on your oven, which means you can whip up pulled pork quickly and easily no matter what the weather is doing outside. The first thing we're going to do is prep our pork. I have a beautiful pasture-raised pork roast here. It's from Oregon Valley Family Farm, and I've been defrosting it overnight in the fridge. And now I want to pat it dry and cut it into chunks so it cooks a little faster. Now your chunks don't have to be super small or anything. It's just really to help it cook through a little faster. They also don't even have to be all that evenly cut. You're going to be pulling it all apart in the end anyway. And now we just want to season our chunks of pork with plenty of salt and pepper. Now you could at this point just dump everything into your Instant Pot and start cooking. But taking the time to brown the meat will bring out a better flavor. So we're going to put in a couple tablespoons of bacon grease, and we're going to set our Instant Pot on saute and wait for it to heat up. And once your oil is nice and melted and hot, you're going to add half of the pork chunks and brown them all over. And once that first half of pork is looking nicely browned on all sides, you just want to transfer it to a plate and repeat the process with the second half of the pork chunks. When the second half of the pork is nicely browned, you just want to put back the first half, add it in right on top, and you can add any accumulated juices as well. Then we're going to add a little additional spice. So I'm adding 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Then we're going to add a little broth. One thing to note about Instant Pot recipes is they simply don't need that much liquid. The pressure pushes liquid right out of the meat and the veggies and things like that itself. So you want to go a little lighter on the liquid than you would if you were doing it in the oven. So I have 3/4 cup of beef bone broth here. You could use chicken broth as well. And I'm just going to pour that right over. And now we're just going to seal the lid and get this sucker going. You want to make sure that the vent at the top is closed on seal. And then we're going to set it at manual high for 45 minutes. And once it heats up, it'll start cooking. Okay guys, the timer on my Instant Pot just went off, which means the main part of the cooking is done. You're actually going to leave it in here for another 15 to 20 minutes. You're not going to vent the top, and you're just going to let the pressure reduce naturally. But while we're waiting for that, we can get started on the sauce. We're going to add my easy sugar-free barbecue sauce to our pulled pork. Okay, so this sugar-free barbecue sauce is so easy. It doesn't require any cooking, which means you can whip it up anytime you need it. So we are starting with 1/2 cup of sugar-free ketchup. There are a number of sugar-free ketchups on the market. A lot of them are made with sucralose, but this one from Alterna Sweets is made with erythritol. There's also Primal Kitchen, which isn't sweetened at all. It just has some of the other flavors of ketchup. And I'm adding 3 tablespoons of Swerve Brown. You could use any sweetener here, but I like the Swerve Brown because it gives it that molasses flavor that you don't get with granulated white sweeteners. Next, I'm going to add a tablespoon of vinegar. I usually use apple cider vinegar, but I happen to be out, so I'm using this coconut vinegar. And I'm adding 1/2 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And this part is optional, but it gives it great flavor. I'm adding 1/2 tablespoon of liquid smoke, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and to give it a little heat, I'm adding 1/4 teaspoon of chipotle powder. And then we just whisk until the sweetener dissolves. Our pork should be completely done by now, so we can start shredding it. Now, you still want to use the vent on the top of the Instant Pot to release any residual pressure. It won't even let you open the top if you don't do that. And we'll see if it's got any left. Nope, nothing. So that's great, it's perfect. So we'll just take off the top and take a peek inside. Oh, that smells so good. I'm just going to use this slotted spoon now and transfer all the chunks of pork to a big bowl. My husband bought me these handy dandy little pulling claws, but you can just easily use 2 forks to do this. And you just want to get in here And if your pork is tender enough, which it should be at this point, it'll just easily pull apart. And finally, we can just add our barbecue sauce. So we just pour that in there. I like to keep a little in reserve for putting on top of the individual servings. And we'll just stir that in. It's looking fabulous. It smells amazing. And then you probably just want to taste it and season it with a little additional salt and pepper. Now, I bet you're wondering how to serve your pulled pork. There are lots of ways you can do this. I just like to eat it out of a bowl. You can put it over cauliflower rice, or if you have a favorite keto bun, you can make a sandwich with it. Today, I actually have some of my cheddar zucchini waffles, which I thought would make great bread for a pulled pork sandwich. So I'm just going to top my waffle with some pulled pork. You can eat it as an open-faced sandwich, or you can add another waffle on top. I'm just going to do it like this right now, and we'll take a bite. That's wonderful. I can't wait for dinner tonight. For this delicious, easy keto dinner and so many more, please check out alldayidreamaboutfood.com.